Okay, so now the cars are slowing down, taking their position. This will be also a very exciting, cracking semi-final. We have no fuel problems because it's only 25 minutes.
Okay, driver.
And I give you back to Hugh.
All right.
10, 9, 8,
Here we go.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
And we're off. Another clean start so far. Oh, we got a little bit of a track jam at the hairpin, but everybody seemed to have squeezed through just fine. Feldman, your leader. Followed by Edoardo Rapetti of Italy. Third place, Hessel Roskam, newly minted RS5 driver. Started actually many years back, probably over 15 years ago, driving for RS5. Back in the pushrod car days. Marco Wederling of Germany in third. Hessel Roskam fourth. Martelli fifth. Andrea Maestri sixth. Vender Ambrosio seventh. Francesco Passini eighth. Adam is at ninth. And Viktor Bolshek of Croatia in 10th. This is a 25-minute semifinal. And once again, you have, this is a rather challenging semifinal in that any of these drivers could easily win this race. So you pretty much have 20 of the top drivers on the planet battling for 3 spots on the podium, and any of them could take it. So this is incredibly high level of competition here this weekend at the Modeltek. So, Feldman, your leader, just clocked an 18.602, the fastest on the track so far. He's had an incredible season. Feldman's been in the game over 20 years, and it seems like he's had a second win this upcoming season, winning the European Championships. I believe that's his 9th time. From what I understand, he's a 20-time German champion in multiple scales of RC. So, in many books, he's probably the greatest fifth-scale driver of all time, the GOAT, the Muhammad Ali of fifth-scale RC. Wow, that rhymed. Edoardo Rapetti, no slouch himself, Italian champion, is very fast and often very entertaining, as he is not shy with sticking his nose in on corners to try and get position. So that makes for very exciting and sometimes accident-filled racing. Not sure if he'll hold off in the semis, but you never know. He's young and ambitious. Oh, and we have a collision. We have a collision on the corner. And as a result, oh, and we have a stop and go coming in. And it looks like, oh, we have our first casualty. Nope, Hessel Roskam is back on the track. So so looks like we have our first casualty. I believe that's Andrea Maestri. We're not sure. We'll have to check. All right, so Feldman first, Rapetti second, Marco Weiderling third, Gianmarco Martelli of Italy fourth, Andrea Maestri of Italy fifth, Vander Ambrosio sixth, Adam Izat of Hungary seventh, Viktor Bolsek eighth, Hessel Roskam ninth, and Francesco Passini 10th. And Feldman, it seems to be distancing himself from the pack. Just clocked an 18.47, so he's absolutely on fire. Your closest contested battle right now on the track at the end of the straightaway is between car number 10, Adam Izat. Oh, and they've connected. They've connected on the infield. Car number 10, RS5 driver Adam Izat, has just flipped his car in battling for position. Battling for position.
Please, mechanic Maestri Andrea, please.
With Francesco Passini.
Andrea ha cambiato il motore, deve fare uno stop and go. Era giusto quello che mi aveva passato.
So Marcus Feldman first, Eduardo Rapetti second, Marco Weiterling third, Gianmarco Martelli fourth, Andrea Maestri fifth, Vender Ambrogio sixth, Victor Bolsic seventh, Hessel Ruskam eighth, Adam is at ninth, Francesco Passini in 10th.
Stato verificato.
Lots of racing left. We got a little over 20 minutes left to go. And it looks like Francesco Passini is our first casualty. As he's coming now twice, looks like he's suffering from engine problems, so this might be his race over. Feldman just did an 18.5, so he's not far off his fastest time. So he's absolutely metronomic in pace right now. Second place, Eduardo Rapetti, also in a league of his own as well. And Rapetti is equally fast, and is only 2 seconds behind Feldman. 20 minutes, lots of time left to go. Lots of time left to go.
Okay, stop.
Oh,
3, 2, 1, go.
Andrea Maestri just came in for a stop and go. So let's find our leader and our second place driver. Marcus Feldman is your leader going down the main straightaway, making a hard left into the infield, hard right, another sharp left, back into the King Straight as he comes up to lap Hessel Roskam, who seems to have suffered from some sort of body damage that's affecting his pace. As he was a third-ranked driver in the main, but now he is down in 8th place and out of contention to bump up into the final.
Oh, basta che vi decidiate, sotto lì.
18 minutes, 55 seconds left to go. Marcus Feldman is your leader, followed by Eduardo Rapetti. Eduardo Rapetti, about 2.5 seconds behind Marcus Feldman. And Marco Weiterling is not that far off of Rapetti either as well. The races get really exciting when Rapetti is very close to the position that he's battling for. He's not shy on making very aggressive moves, very ambitious in the turns, an absolute ruthless passer. So if for any reason Feldman loses pace and Rapetti's within a foot of Feldman, it's going to get exciting. Feldman first, Rapetti second, Marco Weiterling third, Gianmarco Martelli fourth, Andrea Maestri fifth, Vender Ambrogio sixth, Victor Bolsic seventh, Hessel Roskam eighth, Adam is at ninth, Francesco Passini in 10th. And we now have another stop and go. Giovanni, the referee, is calling in.
3, 2, 1, go.
And Victor Bolsic, the Croatian driver, was pulled in for a stop and go. So Laszlo, you see any potential scenarios happening? Like, is there? I mean, Feldman's on his own, but where else do you see a possibility for a driver to move up in position?
Yeah, let's just check Ambrogio and Andrea Maestri. Okay, that is for the last position for bumping up. And Ambrogio is normally very fast.
Yeah, it seems like Ambrogio's got Hessel Roskam close behind him. So, oh yes, they're battling for position. Look at him in the corner. Uh-oh, very good. And they're neck and neck on the straightaway. All right. So Hessel Roskam just gets past Vender Ambrogio on a drag race on the main straightaway. Oh, really? No, they're on the same lap. They're on the same lap. But so Hessel Roskam is now up into 6th place, and he is about a half a lap behind Andrea Maestri. So he's really battling to try and get onto the 5th and last spot to make it up into the final. 16, a little over 16 minutes left to go. Your leader, Marcus Feldman, is consistently keeping his distance and actually has stretched his lead up to about 5 seconds over second place Eduardo Rapetti of Italy. Third place is Marco Weiterling, who is now a little over 3.5 seconds behind Rapetti. And then Gianmarco Martelli, 7.6. Andrea Maestri 5th. 9th. Francesco Passini in 10th.
Okay.
Okay, a little over 15 minutes left to go. Marcus Feldman, still your leader. Out of the top 5, it looks like we have
another car come number 3.
looks like we have three Mechatechs and 2 Genius cars in the top 5. And outside the top 5, we have an RS5, a Berganzoni, lone Berganzoni in the competition that's made it to the finals, and then another Genius, an RS5 as well. So it's a 2-horse race right now between factories, Mechatech and Genius. Genius is the host and the organizer for this Modeltek race. Noako Zeno has been running this event this will be the 13th year. 14 minutes, a little over 14 minutes left to go. We have Marcus Feldman, Eduardo Rapetti, Marco Wetterling, Gianmarco Martelli, Andrea Maestri, Hessel Roskam, Vender Ambrogio, Victor Bolsek, and Adam Izat. Now your closest contested battles at the end of the straightaway between Marco Wetterling of Germany and Gianmarco Martelli of Italy. They're on the back kink straightaway. Wetterling is driving the fluorescent green, gray, and blue accented Alfa Romeo. And Gianmarco Martelli is driving the solid fluorescent yellow Alfa Romeo as they go through the infield and onto the back kink straight. I think it's just a matter of time before someone makes a move and they battle for position. Martelli now driving for Genius, and Wetterling is an RS5 driver, and he's driving the prototype XT 2019 spec car. It's still in prototypical development, but it's been revealed and it's being tested at this race, and it's doing very well with a very new, cutting edge anti-roll bar system that they've introduced to this car, and it seems to be working well this weekend on a very grippy, fast, flowing track. 12 minutes, a little under 13 minutes left to go. You have Marcus Feldman. Marcus Feldman just clocked to 18.567, and Wetterling just clocked 87 kilometers an hour on the main straightaway. The track is heating up slowly but surely as we have an air temperature of 20.6 and a surface temperature of 26.9, and it's literally about 1:30, a little after lunchtime.
Number 10. Thank you.
So Feldman, Rapetti, Wetterling holding off Martelli. But Martelli, as they make a sharp right into the hairpin before looping left onto the main straightaway, Martelli's closing the gap. So Martelli now is catching up to Marco Wetterling. Germany versus Italy. This could easily have been a World Cup final in football, soccer, or as calcio as they call it in Italy. Wetterling. This has traditionally been an RS5 track over the last couple of years, as the absent Nicola Constantine Maroni has won it 2 years straight, and he's decided to take a little bit of a sabbatical this summer, busy with work and his young family, but hopefully one of the other RS5 drivers can make it 3 in a row, as this track seems to complement the RS5's design and rigidity as with these grip levels and flowing corners. We are past the halfway mark. We have a little over 11 minutes left to go. You have Marcus Feldman in first, Eduardo Rapetti in second, Marco Wetterling in third, Gianmarco Martelli in fourth, Andrea Maestri in fifth, Hessel Roskam in sixth, Adam Izat in seventh, Victor Bolsek in eighth, Vender Ambrogio in ninth. So let's see where Hessel Roskam still has a bit of distance to go to try and catch up with Andrea Maestri to get the last spot to get into the final. Little over 10.5 minutes left to go. Marcus Feldman's your leader. He's on the back king straight on his own. It looks like he's separated himself. He is now almost 8 seconds up. Let's see what Rapetti clocks when he goes over the loop. Currently 7.9 seconds behind. Oh, Feldman stretches the lead an extra 0.3 of a second. So now he is 8.1 seconds ahead of Eduardo Rapetti. So Feldman, Rapetti, Weiderling. Oh, and we have two cars off-road. A connection. Ambrogio and Viktor Bolshek of Croatia. Looks like they've collided and connected. And Bolshek is coming off the stand. I think his race is over. Not very happy. And he's called it a day. Viktor Bolshek's race is over. Vendor Ambrogio soldiers on. Not sure if he'll get a stop and go. A little over 9.5 minutes left to go. We have Marcus Feldman in first. Eduardo Rapetti in second. Marco Vetterling in third. Gianmarco Martelli fourth. Andrea Maestri fifth. Hessel Roskam sixth. Adam is at seventh. Vendor Ambrogio eighth. Viktor Bolshek ninth. And it looks like all the cars have settled into position. There aren't any real closely contested battles at this time. Once Marco Weiderling was trying to hold off Gianmarco Martelli, but he stretched his distance to about 2 seconds. And the minute I say that, it changes all in a heartbeat, as Martelli has now decreased the lead to less than 2 seconds. So Weiderling, it's not sweet sailing just yet, as Gianmarco Martelli is gaining on him to try and get a podium finish in this semifinal. The challenge for Martelli is in between he and Weiderling. You have number 7, Andrea Maestri. Andrea Maestri and Martelli once teammates. Let's see if he'll do him a favor. Martelli gaining on Weiderling. Let's see if Weiderling can hold off Martelli. Let's see what the gap is. Wow. About 1.4 seconds difference. Or actually, I take that back. Yeah, about 1.4. So, one mistake, and they can literally be toe-to-toe. Little over 7.5 minutes left to go. We have Marcus Feldman, your leader, making his way through the infield. Onto the back king straight. Eduardo Rapetti about a half a lap behind, making his way onto the king straight. Third place, you have Marco Weiderling making his way onto the main straightaway, making a looping left. Andrea Maestri, Gianmarco Martelli is now going through the infield, about to make a hard right into the hairpin, hard left onto the back king straight. And number 7, Andrea Maestri, in 5th place, in position to make it to the finals. He is now looping left onto the main straightaway. Hessel Roskam actually might be gaining on Martelli, on Maestri. He is now entering the infield. But Maestri still has a little bit of room and a lot of time. Just under 6.5 minutes left to go. We have Feldman, Rapetti, Weiderling, Martelli, Maestri, Roskam, Izzat, Vendor Ambrogio, Viktor Bolshek, and Francesco Passini has retired. Actually, Viktor Bolshek has retired as well. Equally fast, maybe not as spectacular. This main has been pretty well smooth sailing for most of the drivers. Most of the drivers have held their position. And with under 6 minutes left to go, you've had the same 5 players still in position to bump up to the main. So really the only driver that might be in jeopardy of being bumped out is Maestri, but Roskam is about a half a track behind behind Andrea Maestri. It's an incredible testament to the high caliber and level of these drivers. Pretty much your top 7 drivers are within the same lap or half a lap behind the leaders. So very consistent, very strong, very competitive lineup of drivers in the semifinal. Any of these drivers could win the race overall. Either they have or they will be one day. But there's just a lot of talent here this weekend. We're under the 5-minute mark. We got Feldman, Rapetti, Weiderling, Martelli, Maestri, Hessel Roskam, Adam Izat, Venner Ambrosia, Victor Bolshek retired, Francesco Passini retired. The fastest lap in this heat is Marcus Feldman at 18.345, and he's currently just did a 19.178, so he's still consistently fast. Cars are still going close to 90 kilometers an hour on the main straightaway. So these drivers have maintained their pace, and these cars are very reliable and very consistent in spite of the heat and the forces that they're being subjected to on the track. A little over 4 minutes left to go. Hessel Roskam just clocked a 19 flat, Rapetti 18.6, Weiderling 18.7, Martelli 18.9, Maestri 18.9, and Feldman did an 18.6 as he's now about to lap the 5th place competitor for the 2nd time. So he's dominating this field right now. No one is close. Rapetti is now down to almost 10 seconds. Let's see if that... Yes. So Rapetti's 9.5 seconds down. So Feldman's been absolutely dominant. Mark your shirt. Under 3 minutes left to go. We got Feldman, Rapetti, Weiderling, Martelli, Andrea Maestri, all holding station in the top 5 spots. Not sure if there's anybody outside of 5th that can contest for any of those spots, so they're pretty much secure with 2.5 minutes. Typically when you have a 30-minute main, anybody's spot up for grabs, as many of the drivers will run out of fuel before the end of the race. But with 25 minutes, you should be okay. These cars are highly tuned, engines are mapped, blueprinted, dyno tuned, dyno tested, weighted and balanced, so they're using power plants that are in the optimal settings, knowing how strong the field is. So anything is possible, but 5 minutes does give a little bit of breathing room. Less than 2 minutes to go. We have Feldman, Rapetti, 8.2 seconds back, Weiderling, Martelli, Maestri, Roskam, Izat, and Ambrogio. We're under the 1 minute and 30 second mark. Feldman just clocked an 18.68. He's now 8.6 seconds up on a Rapetti. Weiderling is about 3 seconds and change above Martelli, so he's holding station. Martelli in 4th position, has a little bit of room above Maestri. Maestri is in 5th place, last spot, and actually Hessel Roskam is on his tail with less than a minute left to go. So that is the battle to watch, as Roskam has really come back from the back of the field after going off field. and he's now battling for the last spot to get into the main. 41 seconds left to go. If we pay attention to the cars on the main straightaway, going into the left, the hard left, going through the infield, those are your two drivers battling for the last spot going into the finals. That's Marco Weiterling and Hessel Roskam. Maestri is slowing down. Roskam is speeding up, and Roskam is on Maestri's tail. Roskam, the RS5 driver from the Netherlands, going through the infield. Oh! Maestri spins! Roskam takes a position. Roskam looks like he's suffering from a little bit of understeer. Oh, wow. Roskam takes the last spot, literally at the buzzer, as Modeltek team owner William Forlani looks absolutely beside himself with disappointment as Maestri lost the last spot. But he does have Marcus Feldman. He does have... He does... So right now you have... So now you have two RS5s in the final.
That was sick.
That was good stuff, man. Do it. Just get Hessel too.
Sorry?
You have time for Hessel?
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll do them quick.
I'll do Marcus.
Okay. Marcus doesn't want to talk to anybody.
I'm going to work on my car.
Of course you are. Come over here, man. Let's see.
Yes.
Let's see. You're the producer. You need. Okay, so we got. All right. Okay, come to. Or go to. There you go. Perfect. All right. So we're here with who I call the GOAT, greatest of all time, but he's too humble to admit to. We got Marcus Feldman. He's just won his semi and he's heading into the mains. How are you feeling about your car? It's pretty smooth, pretty consistent out there.
Yes, I think I didn't have to push very much because from the start I could easily make a gap to Eduardo and from that point just cruising.
Oh, nice. So this, how do you feel about this season? It seems like it's been somewhat of a renaissance and a resurgence for you. I mean, you won the Euros, you want us to move forward, and you got the Worlds next year. I mean, have you been happy with the season so far?
Of course, a little bit of bad luck in the beginning, but finally the most important races we won so easily.
And now if you can win this one, you can get in the last word before the off season, right?
Yes, good.
Nice. Oh, good work, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Good luck in the final.
Thanks.
All right.